Aaron Stevens knows what it takes to be a champion. He has held gold in his hands before, and since retiring as an in-ring competitor, he has guided Blunt Force Trauma to the very top of the tag team mountain. But he's also done everything in his power to keep BFT there, resorting to every dirty trick in the book, stooping to the lowest of lows, be those lows legal or illicit tender in the world of professional wrestling. He has made enemies out of Knox and Murdoch, robbing them of their rightful place as world champions and pushing them to a breaking point. At Samhain, it all comes to a head. It's the final showdown between Blunt Force Trauma and Knox and Murdoch, where a twist of fate may decide the most prestigious prize in all of tag team wrestling. This is the NWA, where history lives and where legends are forged.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NWA Hour of Power podcast. I am Knighton Thompson, and I am very, very sober compared to last week. And I am joined here today with Trey Davis. Justin is currently still MIA. Trey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good. I'm not as buzzed as you, but I have a slight buzz. You know, when you get off work, you got to unwind somehow. On the back porch, recording this podcast, ready to talk about some NWA.
All righty. Let's get right into it. The intro of this episode today, Aaron Stevens is the main focus. And just watching this back, I miss Aaron Stevens in the ring. I want him back in the ring. I know he retired, but damn it, I wish I want him back in the ring so bad.
I say the same thing.
And they talked about how Aaron Stevens plans to keep the titles on Blunt Force Trauma in either legal or non-legal ways. And then they talked about how he cost Murdoch and Knox the title opportunity at NWA 75. And just that package, it was friggin' amazing, dude.
I'm sorry, even down to the entrance music. I know that's coming up, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but even down to Blunt Force Trauma's entrance music, they just have the Doom, like the old school Doom when they used to wear the mask, Ron Simmons and Butch Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, it's great.
Yeah, they're hearkening back, and you ain't going to hear a complaint out of me about it.
Yeah, definitely not.
We're going to hop into match number 1. You have EC3 and Jordan Clearwater in tag team action against Cal Hero and Luscious Lawrence. This is one thing I didn't notice until I watched back last week's promo on the NWA Instagram that they posted. I didn't know that EC3 had heterochromia.
Oh, I did not know that either.
Yeah, his right eye is blue and his left eye is brown. I was like, whoa, I didn't know that.
Crazy. It's a husky.
But another thing that I noticed, Joey G did not make me feel as bad as I normally feel when I butcher the name of Sawim, because he screwed it up. And
he did, and we will play that in the podcast.
I know. He's like,
so we don't look like complete idiots.
He's like, Samhain, and the dude's like, it's Sawim. Yeah, I've been pronouncing it right all this time, and we're getting close, and it's the end. It's the season finale of the NWA Powerrr. I was geeking.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I saw that promo, I was like, "Oh yes, they are on our wavelength. They are having just as much trouble remembering this name and saying this name."
And this isn't the first time you're gonna see this in this episode, but the match starts off with EC3 and Cal Hero, and the first minute and a half of this match, I was like, oh my god, work something other than Cal's arm. And Jordan Clearwater comes in. I was like, okay, we're gonna get something different. He works the arm. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, very old school type match. The way they built around the arm, and the story I think being told in this is that that's EC3's boy, or apparently, I guess, and he just kept finding himself in trouble where he'd have to tag in EC3 there for a little bit. So
yeah, because I mean Jordan had the arm lock for a while, and then Cal Hero manages to break out of it, does a couple arm drags to Jordan Clearwater, and then excuse me, Cal's able to tag in Double L, which those damn tights on Double L, I was laughing the entire time. I was like, those are so goofy, but they're cool at the same time.
yeah.
And it was a decent tag team match because it's EC3 basically showing Jordan Clearwater how things are done.
Right. Yeah. You had him whispering in his ear a couple of times. Like, look, you want to do this? Go after this guy. I've already worked over the arm. I felt like he was telling him that go after the arm, man. So yeah, he kind of taken him under his wing, so to speak. I think this is also a way to get EC3 over and remind everybody that he's the man around there, and that he's he's the world champion, and he's going to face or he's going to be in the main event of this pay-per-view, Samhain.
Mm-hmm. And at one point, Jordan Clearwater's like pointing at EC3, goes, I'm gonna go for the golden strut, and you hear EC3, no, just go after him.
Mm-hmm.
He went for the golden strut, and that golden strut was made out of fool's gold.
My God, it looked ridiculous. If he could have nailed it, well, I mean, him missing it, it would have been. Maybe they build up. Maybe they build up for that. They have more tag matches where he tries to hit the strut elbow drop. What is it called again? I'm sorry.
The golden strut.
The golden strut, and he, it builds up to him trying to hit it, and he keeps missing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then finally, maybe at a big show, he finally nails it.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe I mean, I don't know. That's kind of what I gather. I don't know. I might be reading way too much into it.
I mean, it's a possibility. It is a possibility. We don't know.
We will find out soon.
Yes. Cal goes to hit EC3 after a while, and Cal goes over the top rope. Double L thought he could hit the schoolboy, or not schoolboy, but a roll up. EC3 gets out. Overman is hit, and the purpose is locked in. Double L taps, and our winners, EC3 and Jordan Clearwater.
I like the submission hold.
It looked a little awkward at first because he was just holding on to Double L's fingers, and I was like, "What, you want to grab the hand and use that
it
wrist
was a little
as
bit
leverage?"
more awkward, but I know what he was going for. And
yeah,
what it was supposed to look like, I guess.
But it was effective because he picked up the win with it. So who am I to say anything?
Good little opening matchup.
Yeah. I definitely got a good kick out of it. It was something to start off and set the tempo for the show. And it worked.
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was a good opening match.
And on to promo number 1 of the night. We have Colby Corino and the Immortals. This promo it started off hot, and then it just got a little weird, in my opinion. Because Colby tells Jamie Stanley, listen, I don't need you anymore. Go pound sand. And then moves on to Joe Alonzo. And like, if you want my seconds, you go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. And then talking. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know what I'm like you. I don't know what they were going for here. This has to be building towards some kind of match.
Well,
Colby Corino, I've been impressed with. I like when they bring in the second generation stars. That's something I want to get into after our review of possible new signings for NWA.
Yeah, we can do that. But, well, Colby Corino and Joe Alonzo are having a match for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship at Samhain. So this is what this is all building towards to. And Colby wants to defend the title and retain it so that for his child for Halloween, he can be a champion. And you see Sam in the background just go, oh, my heart, and then goes right back into it. And then this is where the second butchering of the pronunciation of Samhain happens. Colby Carino screws up. He's like, Samhain, Samhain, blah, 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 whatever.
On it.
Yeah. I was like, I don't feel as bad now. If they're doing it, I can do it too.
How many times have you seen that in a promo where somebody like messes up the name of something? They're like, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You know,
It seems to be the general consensus of the cop out. If they don't know how to pronounce it, just whatever it is.
whatever your name is,
Yeah.
doesn't matter what your name is. Going a little rock there, but.
And then the Immortals spoke about their U.S. tag team title. Well, mostly Kratos did all the speaking about their U.S. tag team title match against Daisy Kill and Talos. And it was just weird.
He's talking about being pretty.
Well, no, Kratos was like, and first off, I'm going to start with Daisy. Well, I'm not going to say because that's not going to happen. And then legitimately, I counted it out. 35 seconds later, says Daisy Kill. It's like, why didn't you just say it at the beginning?
Yeah, I caught that too.
I was like, if you're going to not say it, at least stick with that.
Yes, I agree.
And then the whole, I wash my NWA merch on his abs or body or whatever. I was like, that's
God, man,
that's
I'm gonna
weird.
get me some NWA merch. They better have like a merch table at these tapings.
Well, they've dude, if you happen to go, I actually wrote it down.
I'm going. I've got the tickets.
Well, no, I know you're going, but if they
Okay.
have it, let me know if they've got the 3/4 sleeves. I want one.
I got you.
You're a doll. You know that?
I've been told that before.
I've been told that.
I don't even wear makeup.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, let's continue.
I'm just going to shake my head for a minute while I process that. What
It's
the?
late. It's late, fans.
Yeah.
We're doing this podcast because we love, or it's our love of NWA.
This is true. This is very true. Trey makes me stay up till the eons of the night because I can't record Thursday mornings.
Crack the whip.
Shut the fuck up. But then we get to another promo of Violent J announcing the stipulation for the match of La Rebellion and the Brothers of Funstruction, a riddle box match. You know, it's bad when even the manager and the guy who's going to be participating in the match does not know what the hell the stipulation is.
Well, they won the stipulation, I think, by getting that win last week.
Well, yeah, right? But he goes, there's going to be big boxes, small boxes, wide boxes, tall boxes, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, what is in the boxes? We don't know, but the only ones that are going to know are Billy Corgan and anybody else in NWA Powerrr.
It's going to be weapons.
Well, I would surely hope so. I wouldn't expect them to be pulling out a freaking bag of flour.
Balls, cheese graters, bowling balls, brass knuckles, maybe. What else? Maybe a pie they can throw in their face.
All I'm saying is if one of the wide and tall boxes isn't a casket, I'm going to be slightly disappointed.
Look, I'm not dogging this. This is going to be a spectacle.
Well, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but
I was like, okay, I just want to see what the hell this is.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this has my interest a little bit, even though I fucking hate clowns.
Well, they may get what's coming to them.
Good. Surely hope so. Hope Vampiro gets his hands around Violent J's neck.
Oh, man.
Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Yeah, we have some listeners that are juggalos.
Explains
a lot. They
actually
got some feedback this week, and it was pretty much, hey, I enjoyed the podcast, but I don't really like your take on ICP.
Well, Jay, here's what I have to say to them. Take your happy little self down to the local Home Depot or Lowe's. Go buy 2x4, 2x6 nails and a hammer, build a bridge and get over it.
Or you could drink a tall glass of get the fuck over it. That's much simpler.
I love it. No, you got to build the
We
anticipation.
love the feedback. We love it.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're screwing around too much.
All right.
Match number 2 is Knox and Murdoch versus the Fixers, Jay Bradley and Wrecking Ball Legursky. To start this match off, all I could think of was the New Day podcast when Big E goes, "You want your 5-star matches? No, I want big meaty man bumping meat." This was it right here.
This was it. Yeah, I was thinking that too, of the Miro and oh my God, Hobbs match from the UK pay-per-view from like a month ago.
I don't know.
Where the crowd was chanting meat, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. It was a pounding.
Yeah, because Murdoch and Legursky were just trading blows back and forth, and they just sounded painful. I was like, I would not like to be in that ring. And dude, when Knox got tagged in and Knox lifted Murdoch up for that leg drop, I legitimately felt bad for Legursky. You see Murdoch in the air, it's gonna hurt like hell.
That's what they're like. I know people are gonna like groan at this comparison, but for me, Murdoch and Knox, maybe not promo wise, but just pure in-ring wise, remind me of LOD with how brutal they are, with how their style is very aggressive, and just the way they conduct themselves in the ring really remind me of LOD. There's just something, a believability about them. They're just like, they don't have the perfect bodies. They are just ruthless, and they're just like, it's just like you get in you're in a bar and you come across these guys. You are not fucking with these guys.
No.
Would absolutely tear your fucking head off. But that like I said, there's a believability about them. There's a believability about blunt force trauma. And that's what makes that matchup so fucking interesting.
And we will get to that later on because more to come in the main event. But I mean, this match, I loved it.
Yeah, it was definitely my match of the show.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see more of this because I was like,
that's what Billy Corgan's a fan of. He loves bigger wrestlers and just, having two big ass fucking dudes go at it and just seeing who comes out on top. But I like that mentality too. It's a little bit of an old school mentality. Mm-hmm. But he also has, his smaller wrestlers as well. But
yeah, and Jay Bradley looked amazing too. For that big of a man moving like that, that's impressive. And Jay Bradley, when he lifted Knox up, looked like it was no easy feat for him.
So you think this is going to be over after this pay-per-view with blunt force trauma and Murdoch and Knox? Because I'm thinking, I don't know, that they made it out in the video package, and the way they built around this match, or around the entire show almost, makes me feel like this is the payoff at the pay-per-view.
It could be, but at the same time, we might see it down the road here, later on will you stop?
What?
Save it for later.
Okay. Yeah. My bad.
So there's more to talk about on that discussion. But the Fixers attempt and fail to hit their tag team finisher, and Knox and Murdoch hit the high-low, and that was all she wrote. The winners are Murdoch and Knox. I want to call them Murdochs.
Murdochs. The Murdochs.
Yeah.
I like it. Man, if they came out with the fucking shoulder pads, the spikes, we know they're fucking listening to our podcast.
Shut up.
That would be too much, wouldn't it?
Someone's going to be calling gimmick infringement there, pal.
Oh, come on. Well, maybe they do it for Chicago just as a tribute.
Well, they're in Cleveland.
I know. Well, they can't do it there. You're right. But eventually, maybe?
Possibly. But speaking on gimmick infringement, we'll get to that also later. Because there was definitely some parts where I was like, I feel like I've heard this before from someone else, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that here in a little bit because that's actually up pretty shortly. I called this a vignette because it really wasn't much of a, I shouldn't say much of a promo, but it wasn't a live promo. See Gags in a room by his lonesome, and he's just kind of staring off into space. And then it cuts to this blue and red filter, and Father James Mitchell is there.
The voice of reason.
Telling Gags he's sick and tired of the games with Gags and Sal. And Father James gave Gags an ultimatum. Join or die. And then you see Judas right behind him, grabbing his shoulders. And then Max the Impaler's got him in a rear naked choke. And then Gags snaps out of this trance. But he didn't seem too stressed. And my question, stress / worried. My question, though, is could we have seen a change of heart with Gags?
Possibly. He's off his rocker. I mean, I don't know. I feel like in the end, he's going to come through for his partner, Sal.
I don't know. Just the way he was reacting after he snapped out of his trance. Like, when you're someone like that, you're in that position, and that were to happen to you, you would be like...
James, yes, he does possess that kind of power, so to speak. So, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting story, and it should be. I feel like they're gonna do a lot extra with that at the pay-per-view, with it being Halloween time, and then you've got all this, magical stuff going on. I could see that. I could see something. I could see them actually doing some wild shit at the pay-per-view for that. What is the official match for that?
Let me pull it up. I've got it at the bottom of the page. I call it the match with the ridiculously long fucking name. The official title name of it is the Devil's Last Stand Ultimate Hardcore War Match.
Holy shit, that is a mouthful.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of people in it. I mean, you got Judas, Max the Impaler, Alex Misery, and Magic Inc.
We talked about this week. I forgot. My bad.
Well, they didn't announce the participants until the day after, from what I saw. But yeah, Alex Misery and Magic Inc. with CJ and Father James Mitchell versus Gags, Sal the Pal, Coalaxamana, and Magnum Muscle, Mims, and Dax Strapper.
Huh. That's going to be, a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that's just going to be a big clusterfuck in the history of clusterfucks. But it'll be one of those you're like, I can't look away.
It's a car crash.
Yeah, you're like, this is entertaining. I got to stare.
Kind of like the box match is what I'm going to call it. It's interesting because I've never seen it done. I've just got to see what's going to happen. It's a spectacle. So it also sells the pay-per-view. So.
Sorry, I was taking a drink. We're going to move on to match number 3, the 6 ladies tag team match of Pretty Empowered versus Samantha Starr, Ruthie J, and Woad. The start of this match, because you got Kenzie Page and Samantha Starr right off the bat. I was like, okay, we're going to see something interesting. Literally, Kenzie just goes over, pushes Ruthie J off, and then tags out. It's like, what the fuck?
Kenzie Page is very talented, though.
Oh, yeah, it definitely got some heat because you could hear the crowd just go, boo!
Look, she's saving herself for the pay-per-view. Calm down, fans.
I mean, it worked, but then she tags in Ella Envy.
Part of that next taping, I'm gonna try to bring some glasses or something to show up on screen so you can see me.
No one's gonna see you.
Yes, they are. They are.
Unless if you're gonna run out.
That motherfucker from the podcast. Look at him. He's wearing the fucking LED glasses.
They're not gonna do anything where your fucking ugly mug is gonna be on camera. I can guarantee you that. I got a better chance at winning the lottery than you do being on TV.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just said that. Now I want to make a bet. I'm going to get on camera. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's going to be a sign that says, fuck you, Knighton.
Yeah. And then it'll say underneath it, Power of Hour number 1. Woo!
Ow. God, God, you're as bad as me when I drink, dude. But after Kenzie Page tags out, Ella Envy comes in, and whew, Samantha Starr had some interesting but effective offense. Pinning Ella's head between her knees, rolling onto her stomach, and then just driving her head. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's gotta hurt.
That was interesting. I've seen that done before, but you don't see it very often.
And I was about to say, this is really one of 2 times that I've actually seen that offense be used. And it's very, very interesting.
Yes.
I don't hate it, but I guess it's just got to work for the right person. And it seems to be that Samantha Starr is that right person that it would work for.
It's effective.
And then match goes on. Samantha Starr tags out, and the Woad gets tagged in, and Ella takes a face full of booty from the Woad. I was like, ugh, that's gotta hurt. But it only resulted in a 1 count. And then Ruthie gets tagged in after the pinfall. That was literally all the Woad did for that. Literally used her butt for some offense, went for the pin, tagged out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
This is just to show off how, they're a top stable here in NWA, and they're very, very dominant, obviously. And Kenzie Page is a heat magnet. Who do they have lined up, really? I mean, I know who they have lined up, at the pay-per-view, but who do they really have lined up to try to take this title off of her? Because I need to see that main baby face. If I'm a little bit critical as a fan, it's just my opinion. I want to see a main antagonist and somebody I can legit buy as taking this title off of her. And it can't be really Camille right now because, Camille's doing her duties, try to get her man the 10 pounds of gold. So I don't know. That's just personally. I mean, she seems very dominant, and there's not really anybody that just comes to mind right off the bat that can take that title off of her.
Well, we can sidebar real quick. On the pre-show for Samhain, we have Samantha Starr versus Missa Kate versus Tiffany Neves versus Celeste. And the winner of that match becomes the #1 contender for the NWA Women's World title.
So, we'll get to predictions here in a little bit if you want to.
Well, yeah, but I was just sidebarring to be like, well, these are possible options for Kenzie Page or Ruthie J. We don't know.
Maybe Max the Impaler versus Kenzie Page. That's a
oh god.
It's 2 heels, but it's a money match.
Yeah. But that would be an utter destruction of Kenzie Page.
Oh, and I don't know about that. Kenzie Page is very resourceful.
Listen, if we had you, myself, and Justin against Max the Impaler, she would whoop all 3 of our asses.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
So
Kenzie Page would find a way to kick all of her asses, though. That's my point.
I would probably allow it, but that's
all
right. But Kenzie Page gets in the ring after a while, and we get to see a little preview of Samhain with Kenzie Page and Ruthie. And it was very interesting. I liked it. I was excited. I was like, okay, this is definitely a good teaser. I want to see more.
Yeah, I think their match at the pay-per-view will be good.
And then the ref losing control of the match and basically each person getting a back and forth. Woad then gets a big boot to the face and then a code Kylie, and that was all she wrote. But in between the match, Roxy comes running out and is trying to talk to Ella, and Envy is just ignoring Roxy the entire time. And then after the match, Roxy comes in, tries to get Ella's attention, and you can hear visibly Ella just go, "You are nothing. You kept us down." They shove her down, do a little beat down.
Yeah, that's the story of this match, is just what happens at the end of it. It's just you I don't know. It tried to come off as heartbreaking, which it was in a way. The gang attack. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Because you got to see different matchups, and then you got to see the preview between Kenzie Page and Ruthie J. And that match, that definitely has a lot of intrigue around it for me personally, because I like a good solid women's division in a company. It doesn't matter what company it is. I like to see a very solid women's division. This match has potential to be really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I want that to be something that sticks out. And with seeing this little preview tonight, or last night, this match definitely has me, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch this. This is definitely a match I want to see as well. Granted, this whole pay-per-view is nothing but I'm going to sit down and watch it.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the coverage right after the pay-per-view with Blake English, who will be live at the pay-per-view at the Cleveland, Ohio show.
All right. We are going to move on. Where am I in my notes? Ah, here we go. Dum-dum. Immediately after that match, we get Ruthie J talking about Pretty Empowered. And like I said a while back, calling Pretty Empowered a group of hyenas wasn't going to end well for Ruthie J.
No.
Ruthie J puts over Pretty Empowered. She's like, yeah, I don't want to say a whole lot of negative because I don't want to get censored. And it's like,
Chris Adonis, you may be sexy Jesus, but you're one stupid son of a bitch. Let me tell you, I don't know if you remember, boy, but the last time you stepped in the ring with Big Daddy Thrill, you did not survive the thrill ride, and you were counting those lights, cowboy, in the Thrill Billy's hometown of Knoxville, Tennessee. And now, man, that brain of yours must be swelling up in there. I don't know if it's from all the wars. I don't know if it's from all the caloric deficits you've been going in. But you ain't going to be stepping in there with some hick. You ain't going to be stepping in there with some hillbilly. Son, you're going to be stepping in there with the national heavyweight champion of the world, the Thrill Billy, Silas Mason. And I know Kerry James is the uncrowned world champion. But that world champion you got, EC3, I want you to know something. This thing right here, it ain't no stepping stone, but it is a ticket. It's a golden ticket straight to the top of the mountain. Before you take over the world, you got to control the nation, and the natty is being controlled by the biggest man who ever lived. So, Chris, I ain't looking past you. But I'm going to tell you something real quick, EC3. Don't be getting no more stupid tattoos all over your body, because you're about to get a size 16 boot tattooed on your ass. Tell them, AT!
Somebody must have turned up the thermostat. Because when you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not,
all right, moving on to match number 4. We have Jeremiah Plunkett and Mario Pardua against Magic Inc. Seeing Magic Inc.'s intro, yes. I was like, ooh, this is
love this tag team. And they are heavy on the gimmick side, but man alive, there's just something about the magician gimmick. It's very campy to me, but in a good way. I really enjoy the over the top gimmicks. You don't see them enough these days. And then I love their finisher, man. It's unique as well. But I'm skipping ahead. Go ahead.
Right off the bat, Plunkett goes for a roll up because Magic Jake's like, let me show you a trick. I need 25 minutes. And I mean, no can do, Hal. Magic Jake definitely has some jokes up his sleeve, and I was kind of geeking at some of them. I thought it was funny. Jake picked up a little bit of steam until the Irish whip, and then it switched back to Plunkett being in control. And then Jake tries to pull another trick, but pays for it. Then Plunkett's got a full steam ahead. Wow. English is hard sometimes.
It is.
Had a lot of steam going behind him. And then CJ trips him up with a cane. And the knees to the back and side. I was like, no, I don't like that.
Brutal.
Cody James gets tagged in, and the barker does his job. He started barking off. Which, not going to lie, Cody James I thought was a little bit of an interesting cat. He was... I don't get me wrong, I love this, but he was a little out there.
He's a little different. There's no doubt about that. An over the top gimmick.
Yeah. And the part that got me giggling was Cody James tags Magic Jake. And then they do the double team move. Magic Jake goes for the pin, and the ref starts yelling at Magic Jake, you need to get out of the ring, you need to get out of the ring. Even though Magic Jake is the legal man. He never saw the tag and then just acted like nothing ever happened.
Maybe the ref had been drinking, like you last week.
Shut up. You know what? I hope you have a nice day.
Oh, don't be like that. No, you don't wish me a nice day. Come on.
You don't wish me a nice day.
Yeah, he was. The ref was a little confused here in this spot.
And then Mario Perdua gets in and was just a house on fire. The spot that I really loved the most was the Hurricane Rana into the side Russian, and I put in quotations Polish leg sweep.
Yeah. Because it's not a Russian sweep.
Man, it's Polish.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because isn't his nickname the Polish Superman?
Yes.
That's what I thought I heard, and I was like, I'm not going to write that down because I don't want to get yelled at for having the wrong name again.
Oh, God. Well, Justin's on here, so. You're right. I am not on here. I have a date at the WWE show. You can do it better than me.
Yeah, if you're going on a trip to the show, yeah.
It's going to be so fun. How you say fun?
But the spot that got me the most, that I winced at, there aren't too many things in life that bother me. I've seen blood, I've seen guts, I've seen brains, puke, whatever.
Right.
But when Mario lifts Jake up for the slam, and Jake drags that playing card right across the eye, nope.
Yeah, I know.
Nope. I winced so hard. I was like, I can only
imagine spots either. You've seen them in especially indie shows where they do the fucking paper cut, and it's like, oh man, just brutal. I don't want to see it. I know it's fake. Okay, I know he's not really doing it, but it's like just the visual. Kudos to them though.
But this worked.
Yes,
that's their whole thing. Their magic. Where did the card come from?
Working the gimmick. Love it.
And Magic Inc. picks up the win after they hit their finish, and it was good. It was a good match. I enjoyed this one. This and
deep
Knox and Murdoch's
tag division. Very, very deep tag division. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That was probably my match of the night, though, for sure.
I'd have to give it to Murdoch and Knox on being the match of the night. This came in a very close second.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd have to give it the match of the night.
Oh, true. Okay. I misunderstood you. My bad.
Yeah, it's all right.
And then we got And then we got Knox and Murdoch in a promo. Swear to God, Mike Knox 100% needs meds. Just like I said with Vampiro.
Yeah, and when I
Get
made that
on your
comparison
meds.
to LOD, I said I made sure to point out that not in the promo style. Whereas Knox is kind of a, he's kind of got working the whole big goof gimmick.
Well, he's not even a big goof. He's just insane. I mean, come on. Who beats up their neighbor for thinking that he's in blunt force trauma and gets kicked out of the HOA and has to publicly apologize?
He's that fucking neighbor, man. He's that insane fucking neighbor.
I don't want to live near
Can't even
him.
wear a fucking ski mask out in your front yard without getting your ass kicked by this guy.
Fucking thank God I live in Wisconsin. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And then you had the polar opposite of Murdoch, from Murdoch, where it was short and sweet and you knew what you meant. Murdoch was like, you guys wanted this. You guys asked for it. It is going to get violent.
We don't know what this match is, but
yeah, you guys wanted it. It's going to get violent and it's going to be nasty.
Yeah. I'm interested. This is the match I might be looking forward to the most.
I'm going to look at the card and see which one I'm actually interested in the most. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Besides EC3 and Tom Latimer, yeah, the Knights of the Round Table tables match. It's up there.
We have no idea what that's even going to be, but it's crafted by Aaron Stevens, so it'll be interesting.
Just from the Knights of the Round Table tables match, it's going to be a round table, and you got to put your opponent through it. I don't know. I'm just piecing things together.
Tables match.
What the fuck do I know?
But yeah, I'm excited about this matchup. It's gonna be the best probably tag matchup of the show. I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb there. But yeah, like I said again, the tag division is super fucking deep, and we saw it on this show. I think the whole entire show almost was crafted around this tag team title match coming up at the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
It's all win.
And here's the thing. I'm going to touch base on the whole depth of the tag team division. I think that's why the NWA can get away with having 2 men's tag team titles, because of the absolute depth that their tag division has.
Yeah, and like we touched on last week, with them opening up the territories, that opens up even more tag teams. May even start to do a segment on the show where we kind of suggest maybe some independent talents and tag teams that would make great fits for NWA.
I mean, yeah, I definitely got a couple that are up here in Wisconsin, but yeah, we can discuss that on another day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to move on to promo number 5. And this is where I said some gimmick infringement was happening. Kerry Morton. What the hell? Calling everybody a jabroni. Smarks. Yeah, I was like, I feel like I've seen this somewhere. I just can't place my finger on where I've seen it.
Hey, it's Halloween time. He's channeling his inner rock.
Yeah, overconfident and full of hot air. That's what I consider Kerry Morton to be.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, he's the son of a legend.
Yeah, he's a son of a legend, but still.
Something else, too, I guess.
Don't talk about his mother like that. I'm sure she's a very nice lady.
I'm sure she is.
But the Thrillbilly Silas coming in, just dropping some bombs, dude. Talking about the last time him and Chris Adonis faced off. Adonis was looking at the lights.
Yeah, fuck you, sexy Jesus.
Yeah. And then Thrillbilly calling out EC3. And this line got me. That the National Heavyweight Championship wasn't a stepping stone, but it was a ticket to the top of the mountain. And before you take over the world, you have to control the nation. And the nation is being controlled by the biggest man who ever lived. dropping some fire.
Planting some seeds there for potential EC3 matchup.
Dude, Thrill Billy versus EC3. Sign me up. Shut
I'm
up and
game
take my money.
for it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe I'll get that at the tapings.
Shut
Please,
up.
please.
Shut up.
Oh man, we're gonna podcast. I'm gonna do a podcast with 3 jabronis, as Kerry Morton would say. On the way down, we're gonna talk about some stuff. I know Mikey has a huge crush on Camille. Camille is probably about 4 feet taller than Mikey. We'll talk about that, and their excitement and how we've been able to get several people excited about the NWA product through our podcast, and that's it's a pretty big accomplishment, I think.
Hey, can you do me a favor while you're at that show?
What's that?
Can you put some seeds in their head to come to Wisconsin?
Oh man, yes.
Because I shouldn't mention it. I should mention it because it's in September of next year. But
They don't go up north very much, other than like Ohio.
well, I mean Chicago. You got,
Yeah,
but
I get that.
I'm not fucking driving to Chicago. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's 2.5 hours away from me, and
Ooh.
that involves going to Chicago.
Yeah.
And I know Billy's from Chicago. I'm not disparaging Chicago. It's a nice spot to be
I love
in.
the Cubs. I'm a Cubs fan.
Fuck the Cubs.
Oh, go Cubs.
At least we
fuck
made
y'all.
it further
Y'all
in the
playoffs.
fucking postseason.
Well, neither one of our teams made it.
Nope.
Well, no, your team made it. They just got put out really quickly.
Yeah, by the fucking NLCS champs.
Oh,
Don't mind me.
well, we're talking about baseball.
Yeah, sorry everybody. We love baseball too much.
Yes.
But watching the ad for the NWA merch shop, which by the way, they happen to follow us on Instagram. If you're not following us already, please follow us at the Hour of Pod on Instagram. The Hour of Pod.
I need to get on our
Hour of Power Pod. Jesus.
I need to get on X. Yeah, that sounds good. Instead of Twitter, I need to get on X.
No,
So-
don't ever say
Okay.
that again,
Okay.
please.
I
And
need to
speaking-
get on X, and I need to promote this podcast.
And speaking,
send it
please
to-
follow us on X at Hour of Power Pod. Yeah. God, why do I keep saying .com? It's because I'm tired. Leave me be.
All right. Oh, yeah, we need to send it to Billy Corgan and everybody who will possibly listen. But we're still finding our footing, and we will be having some of the roster on before too long.
Hopefully, I'd like to chat it up with some folks.
We want to get the Purge back. I'm
Why?
sure you have many questions.
Oh God, it'll just be Purge interviewing them, and I'll be sleeping.
No, you just tell Purge to shut up. Shut up, Purge.
I do that, and he doesn't do that. So
Oh, what are we calling the Purge? Sorry, we call him the Purge. That's kind of his nickname. His real name is Justin.
it makes me want to purge sometimes.
Yes. Well, he will be back very, very soon. We're gonna have several people coming on this podcast, so just stay tuned. All right, moving on. We're running out of time.
Main event time. I thought it was going to be a tag team match, but they're like, nope, it's a 2-on-3 handicap match with blunt force trauma. And I was like, okay, who's going to be the unlucky souls? And then I looked at him. I was like, I don't even recognize any of you. This is going to be a squash. But I got what I wanted out of this match. I got Aaron Stevens on the mic the entire time, and I loved it.
Commentary during the match. This man is a fucking genius. Please, for the love of God, come back. Have a stable with blunt force trauma. They're your tag team. They're your muscle. You could add somebody else to the stable, maybe a female, and they prop you up. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Aaron Stevens. You got to do this for us.
The more the merrier. You weren't one of the people that I would never get sick of seeing on NWA television.
Yeah, Aaron Stevens. He's the man. But he did. This entire match is obnoxious. It was great. It is everything I love about this man.
Yeah, it was just, and like I really wasn't even paying attention to the match, and then when I finally caught it, I was like, "Shit, this match is almost over," and it was just a train wreck. Blunt force trauma showing how dominant they are.
Yeah, just reminding the audience that the pay-per-view's coming up. They're the tag champs. They're facing Murdoch and Knox, and it's going to be a hell of a match. It's going to be a show stealer. I'm pumped about it.
And then after the pinfall, guess who come running back in? Knox and Murdoch. And
Bro,
they started going at those two teams started going at it, and it was like, oh, ooh. It was like a little kid in a candy store.
that's how you end a go-home show.
Oh God, yeah. And then Aaron Stevens stepping in the middle of Knox and Murdoch and being like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I loved that. That is chicken shit heel at its best, giving his guys an opportunity to get out of the ring, get away from Knox and Murdoch before too much damage were to happen.
Yeah, you notice at the very end, they're seen holding the belts up in the middle of the ring, the NWA World Tag Team Championship, and you have Blunt Force Trauma on the outside with Aaron Stevens, just yelling at him, and as the show goes off, I thought it was an excellent way to end a go home show.
This whole show, top to bottom, besides two of the promos, was gold.
Yep.
It was a damn good show. I loved it. Although, even though it was a 50-minute show, you want to know how long it took me to watch this show?
What's that?
I started it at 2 p.m. today. I finished it at almost 6 because I kept having ADHD moments. Went and made food. I went and talked to people. I was on the phone, and I was like, I need to watch the fucking show so I can do the damn podcast tonight.
I was able to watch it in one sitting, and I was kind of surprised how quickly it ended. Every week it just shocks me how quick it ends. It's like, man, this is what they need to bring to CW. Leave the audience wanting more. And talking about stuff outside of the review, apparently they've already been filming for the backstage show. So
That's what it was. I couldn't remember the second show. I knew they were doing 2, but it was the backstage. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's like the reality show. I really believe they're trying to capitalize on the popularity of the show Wrestlers on Netflix and kind of bringing you in to get to know these wrestlers a little more, make you more invested in buying their pay-per-views and watching the show on CW, obviously. But if you can, attach yourself emotionally to one of these characters that's got a really good backstory, whether they had to come from nothing or whatever the case may be, you tell that similar story that they do on the show Wrestlers on Netflix, and you might have a hit on your hands. Wrestling's very popular right now, and I think CW knows this, and they're trying to capitalize on this.
And plus, here's the thing with CW being on everyone's cable provider, cable network, whatever, you're flipping through the channels, you're going to find, oh, hey, what is this? And I think it's going to open the doors not only to wrestling fans who are diehards and they don't really know that NWA is out there.
Right.
And then to the ones that, okay, I've been following NWA for a while, and now I get more. And then it also opens that third door to new fans. And this is just a all-around smart thing.
I believe so. I believe that you're trying to maybe get somebody who is not really a fan of wrestling to become a fan with this backstage show. It's a cool forward way of thinking and telling stories. So I usually don't like reality shows, but if it involves wrestling and it pushes the power product, then I'm all about it. And I think this is a great way to get new fans like they're trying to do with this backstage show. And then you can build up to some really big power shows on CW. And like you said, it's in a lot of homes. It's a top 20 network. Let's see what CW can do. They've been successful with SmackDown and WoW and some other wrestling entities in the past. I think they can capitalize on this. Now, my next question is, with this network deal, you're almost expected to bring in some new names, maybe not so much huge big names, but like new names, and create possibly new stars. But he's talked about this in an interview, how he wants to take the Moneyball approach. And if you haven't seen the movie Moneyball, is basically about the GM of the Oakland A's. They have very little money to spend on their baseball players, and he goes through and he's basically gets all these underdogs, these people that don't necessarily have the best stats, but they get on base and they score, and he puts together this cheap team that ends up making the playoffs. And so that's what his approach is. Like, I've got this big network deal, I've got to be able to create stars, but if I can get a big name on a budget, I'll do it. If they've been proven to, move merch or possibly, create interest in the form of a big match, you can make big money with them, but not have to spend a ton of money, at least right off the bat. And I'm not trying to sound like a wrestling mark with here. And this is just what I've took in, listening to the interviews and, trying to think like, if I was an owner and I only had this amount of money and I've got a network deal, I would be taking the exact same approach. Rant over. Go ahead. No, my bad.
No, you're fine.
Blah, 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 blah.
No, you're fine. This is the opportunity. And I think that can be a good thing. And also, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think it could possibly hurt the NWA if they were to take the Moneyball approach. I mean, I'm going to put this in Moneyball perspective. Scott Hatterberg was a terrible player, but he got on base. Right. And you're basically hoping to God that getting these people that have kind of seen their better days a new lease on life, and there'd be some talent that we haven't seen in a while that I would be very interested to see. And there's one that a lot of people don't want to see because of the accusations he's had in the past,
Yes.
which left him to be leaving his contract at WWE. But I would love to see
about
the Velveteen Dream, Patrick.
Interesting. I love these suggestions, and this one that I didn't think about either. That's a great suggestion.
Now, I know he's marred in controversy, especially, like I said, with the prior accusations he had, but he's still a damn good talent. Good promo, good worker, can get you intrigued on a match. My favorite match of his was with Aleister Black.
Yeah.
I think it was War Games.
Dude, he was on a rocket there for a little bit until the allegations. The WWE had a lot, invested in him. He's a great character. If he could change it up just slightly, not being under the WWE umbrella, which I know he could. He's a very creative person. Do you take that risk? I say yes, because none of the allegations were true from what I've understood in the court of law. So, yeah, if you could get him on a budget, that's an interesting character that brings eyeballs to your product and a bit of controversy as well. Not a bad thing.
No. And there are just so many talent that have kind of fallen to the wayside. And this is also not a bad thing. They've just kind of been overlooked or forgotten about. And this is the best opportunity for them, is to get nationally exposed. I don't even know if CW is on internationally, but it's still a good opportunity for them.
that's a Moneyball approach and a game changer.
Yeah.
I feel like a heat magnet. You could obviously have him go straight for the title. The guy could carry it. He could carry it. Well, he actually has real life heat with EC3. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so we'll wait till EC3 drops the title. Oh, excuse me. That friggin' melatonin is kicking in, but I can push through it. But
possibly maybe recently released Arn Anderson and Brock Anderson.
Ooh, yeah.
That's balling on a budget, and the way I look at it is, you're getting this great second generation talent. You could have under one roof, Arn Anderson's kid, Ricky Morton's kid, and Carino's kid, all under the same roof. Come on.
Stop it. My nipples can only get so hard. Stop
man.
it.
Oh, man, a stable. Whew.
And don't forget, you have Samantha Starr as well, who's another generational talent.
Yes, exactly. So, now we're just fantasy booking. But Brock Anderson, I think, would be someone that you're not going to have to spend a ton of money on. WWE's probably not going to go after him. Arn Anderson is also released with him. Boy, that would be a major help to have somebody the likes of Arn Anderson backstage making some, helping you make some, tough decisions, match outcomes. He's been an agent forever. If you can't afford him, hell, just having him backstage, the guy's going to help out in some way. If you can afford to bring him on camera, that would be great. A GM spot, just a manager spot for his kid. I mean, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, just hopefully Arn doesn't have his Glock with him.
Or scissors. But yeah, I mean, it's just balling on a budget. I've got a few floating in my head. We'll talk about them from week to week. Possible people coming into NWA making an impact. Several independent talents really ring out my head for what they're wanting for the NWA product. If they want bigger guys, I know plenty of guys that are up for the task.
Mm-hmm. As do I. I mean, being up here in Wisconsin, seeing some of the independent shows, there have been several talent. I was like, oh, I'd love to see them on a better platform than just wrestling in a high school gym in front of like 70 people. It's like he's got the talent.
Legacy and Cyrus have been doing tours with All Japan and Noah. Sean Legacy with Noah, and then Cyrus with All Japan. Cyrus is Baby Vader. If you were a fan of Big Van Vader back in the early 90s, which I was, you would love this guy. He does a Vader bomb, but he twists in the air midway and kind of does this senton, but it's amazing. The guy is huge. He can move around great for a big man. He is scary big. Just an excellent person to bring in as far as like a monster. And then you have Atrocity Kruger is what he's going by now. He is feuded with Jedias several times and had several matches with him. He is very scary. Wears the mask. He was known as Mads Kruger in MLW, and he's another excellent talent to take a look at. Like I said, Sean Legacy as well, and Noah. Sean Legacy, Cyrus, Atrocity Kruger. I just wanted to throw those names out there before we end the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy up here. His name's Cypher. I first saw him at the ACW show that I went to in April of 2021, and he's a homegrown talent from ACW and Hornswoggle. He's almost like a mixture of Abyss, Kane, Taker, and the Big Show. But he moves so fluid, and it's like,
these are all talents that you could bring in that could move the needle right off the bat, provide plenty of competitors. You could almost start a super heavyweight division, but instant competitors for the world title. These guys are absolute threats. They're monsters. They're well-known names in Japan now. So, I mean, you can get them on a budget. Like, I would just pop like crazy if I were to see any of these things pop up in NWA.
Maybe you're planting the seeds. Who knows, man?
Who knows? Who
But-
knows?
Do we want to get on to predictions or do we want to call it a night? It's up to you.
Ooh, we have went over the hour mark. I tell you what, let's yeah, we have ran out of time to do predictions. I guess we will hold that out. I don't know. Maybe we could drop it a prediction show before the pay-per-view
I
possibly,
mean,
but
we can do, if you're available Friday, we can.
I am available Friday.
All right, well, fucking, let's not do it so goddamn late.
No, we won't. And it will be a somewhat short show. We'll just go over our predictions and that's it.
Well, I mean, we can go over predictions and then we can talk about some more talent we'd like to see in the NWA as
Ooh.
well.
I like that.
It's called
maybe
filler, baby.
maybe-
It's called filler, baby. It's filler.
Oh, filler. I love it. Fills you up.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I can usually do a better Dusty impression. Sweet sapphire.
Listen, I've wined and dined with kings and queens and slept in alleys and ate pork and beans. Because I'm the American dream. Dust the roads.
Can we get a Cody impression? So what do y'all want to talk about? They want to talk about indie talent to bring into NWA.
Oh my God. We should.
All right.
Oh God.
Yeah, we should end it there.
Yep.
We have nobody listening at this point.
No, they've all gone. These guys have lost their fucking minds.
We'll be better next week, I promise. Well, actually, not next week. This week on the prediction show and the podcast after the pay-per-view. We've got a busy schedule. We can do it.
Let's do it, man. All right, everybody. We appreciate you listening. Tune in Friday or Saturday whenever the predictions / talk about other talent podcast drops. And then please check in Saturday night, Sunday morning for the Sawim Aftermath podcast.
With Blake English, who will be live at the show to give us a live report.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.